We're always told that happiness is all about thinking positive thoughts. But what if that's completely backward? Today, we're going to unpack a really fundamental psychological law. This overlooked idea that true positivity doesn't just come from happy thoughts, but from building a real foundation of control in your life. So does this sound familiar? You're having a tough day and someone just tells you to, be positive or look on the bright side. And you try, but it feels forced, right? Maybe even impossible. Well, that's a super common struggle, and there's a really good reason why that advice almost never works. It's because you're trying to build the roof before you've even laid the foundation. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're gonna start with the big idea, the law of control. Then we'll break down the 4 key pillars that connect that control to real joy. We'll even look at some surprising evidence that suggests self-control is actually more critical for success than IQ. Then, and this is the important part, we'll get into how you can build your control muscle. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the one big takeaway. All right, let's dive into section 1, the law of control. This is the core idea that everything else we're going to talk about is built on. It's a really simple but profound shift that kind of flips the script on how we usually think about happiness. And here it is, the big one. Law number 1, control precedes positivity. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not that being positive leads to a more controlled life. It's that having a more controlled life leads to genuine, lasting positivity. You just can't force yourself into a positive state if your life feels totally chaotic and out of your hands. You have to build that order first. So if control is the foundation, how does it actually build the house of joy? Well, research points to 4 key psychological pillars that connect that feeling of being in charge to real positive emotions. And here's how it all connects. First, control gives you the power of problem solving. So instead of running from your issues, you actually face them, you master them. Second, doing that builds self-efficacy, which is just that deep down belief that you can change your life. Third, it improves your psychological adjustment. Basically, your ability to stay balanced and bounce back when life gets messy. And the result of those 3? That's the 4th pillar, happiness. You just naturally experience positive emotions more often because you've actually built the structure to support them. And look, this isn't just some feel-good theory. There's some really compelling evidence out there suggesting that your ability to regulate yourself is one of the most important skills you can possibly develop, maybe even more important than just raw intelligence. And this isn't coming from some self-help book. This is a finding straight from the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Their research found that self-regulation, which is really just another word for self-control, is a better predictor of long-term success than a person's IQ. I mean, just think about that. The ability to manage yourself matters more than how book-smart you are. And what kind of success are we talking about here? We're talking about the stuff that actually matters. People with higher self-regulation tend to have better physical health, they build more wealth over their lifetime, and they report way higher overall life satisfaction. But here's the best part. This is the most empowering piece of this whole thing. Your IQ? It's pretty much considered a fixed trait. But self-control? That is a malleable skill. It's something you can actively practice, you can develop it, and you can strengthen it over time, which means you have the power to actually change your future. Which of course leads us right into our next section. How do you actually do it? If self-control is a skill, then we need a toolkit to develop it. So let's get into some practical exercises you can start using today to build a more regulated life. And I love this metaphor of a muscle because it's just so true. Think of your self-control exactly like a muscle at the gym. The more you exercise it with small, consistent efforts, the stronger it gets. You don't start by trying to bench press 500 pounds, you start with something you can handle and you build from there. So here are 3 really powerful tools for your workout. First, there's the 3 good things exercise, where you just write down 3 things that went well each day. This literally retrains your brain to scan for the positive. Second, a consistent mindfulness practice that creates a critical bit of space between a feeling and your reaction to it. And third, a technique I really want to focus on because it's so simple and so powerful, the language shift. Now this looks almost too simple to work, but I promise you, it is a profound act of cognitive control. Every time you catch yourself saying, ugh, I have to go to work, or I have to do laundry, consciously replace it with, I get to. This simple switch reframes a chore into an opportunity, and it puts you right back in the driver's seat of your own mind. It's a small rep, for sure, but it builds that control muscle every single time. Okay, let's bring this all home. We've talked about the what and the why. Now, let's boil it all down into one final, powerful takeaway you can use to really master this law in your own life. Let's put this as simply as possible. If your life feels like you're constantly reacting, just putting out fires and being pulled in a million different directions, no amount of positive thinking is ever going to stick. Positivity isn't a mood that just happens to you. It is the outcome of a life built on structure and self-discipline. So, the next time you're feeling down or overwhelmed, here's your new strategy. Don't just scroll through social media looking for some inspiring quote to give you a temporary boost. Instead, search for a system of regulation. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can take control of right now? And here's what that path looks like in real life. First, build your self-control through small, consistent, achievable goals. Next, focus on what you can gain. So instead of worrying about avoiding failure, ask, what positive step can I take today? That shifts you from playing defense to playing offense. And finally, shift your energy. Stop spending all of it on resisting what's bad and start actively initiating what is good. I want to leave you with this fantastic quote from Noam Chomsky. Optimism is a strategy for making a better future. I love this because it frames optimism not as some passive feeling, but as an active, deliberate plan of action. It's a choice to work towards something better. And that right there is the final, crucial piece of the puzzle. If optimism is the strategy, then self-control is the engine that actually drives you toward that better future. It's the horsepower behind your goals. So the pursuit of happiness isn't about finding it. It's about building the structure for it to grow. And that is entirely in your control.